Yes. Good afternoon, members of the press. Thank you for being here with us today. My name is Trishala Prasad. I'm the Deputy Permanent Representative of the Guyana Mission and also the spokesperson for the mission. As Guyana begins the presidency of the Council for June, I am pleased to introduce our permanent representative of Guyana to the United Nations, Ambassador Carolyn Rodrigues Birkett, to brief you on the program of work which was adopted this morning. And following an overview of the program, you will have the opportunity of asking questions. So I turn it over to Ambassador.
Thank you, Ambassador Prasad. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am pleased to be here this afternoon to present the month's program of work for the Security Council. Before doing so, I would like to thank Ambassador Evangelos Sekaris and his team for their efficient stewardship of the Council last month. Turning now to our program of work, with the support of fellow Council members and the Security Council Affairs Division, our program of work was just adopted and will soon be available on the Security Council website. I understand that copies have been circulated to you in the room. In total, as of now, the Council is scheduled to have 29 meetings. All of them, except our signature event on the 19th of June, are mandated meetings. The country-specific meetings include Syria, Iraq, Central Africa, Sudan, Libya, UNDOF, and Yemen, among others. On Syria, we will have two meetings, one related to the chemical weapons file and the other related to the political and humanitarian situation. We will also have a meeting pursuant to Resolution 2334 regarding Israeli settlements on Palestinian territories. On the thematic side, we will have a meeting on non-proliferation related to the implementation of Resolution 2331 on the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, the JCPOA. We will also zero in on several key priorities, including the protection of children in armed conflict, conflict prevention and the security development nexus, women, peace and security, and climate peace and security, some in the context of our joint pledges and commitments. On June 25th, we will have the annual Children and Armed Conflict debate, where we will consider the Secretary General's latest report on the trends and patterns identified in 2024. The trends are worrying, so we expect the debate to be highly subscribed. On 19th of June, Guyana will organize a signature event, which will take the form of a high-level open debate on poverty, underdevelopment, and conflict implications for the maintenance of international peace and security. This meeting will be chaired by His Excellency President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, with briefers invited from the United Nations system and the African Union. The meeting will build upon previous discussions about the relationship between sustainable development and international peace and security. This is not the first time such a meeting will be held. As you know, the Council would have discussed the security development nexus in the past, especially in the context of peace building. Sweden, Brazil, and more recently China in 2023 have all brought the broader question of security and development to the Security Council. And we intend to go a step further this time, zeroing on poverty and underdevelopment as both drivers and consequences of conflict. Given the upcoming 80th anniversary of the United Nations, the proliferation of conflicts, one count put this as more than 120 presently, and the fact that the Sustainable Development Goals are not anywhere close to being achieved by 2030, we believe that this debate is both timely as it is relevant. Like we did last year, when we held the presidency, we will organize an expert-level briefing ahead of our signature event, which will be open to all UN member states. The briefing is being organized by Guyana, Denmark, and Sierra Leone on the 5th of June. We thank UNDP, DPPA, Pathfinders, and the International Peace Institute for collaborating with us on this. This is the expert-level meeting on the signature event. On the thematic side, we will organize a press stakeout focused on climate, peace, and security in Central Africa, and another on women, peace and security ahead of the meeting on MONUSCO. We will also organize, together with fellow co-chairs Slovenia, the Republic of Korea, and Panama, an expert-level meeting on the Central African region on the 6th of June within the framework of the informal expert group on climate peace and security. In addition to what is reflected on the program of work, the members of the Security Council will hold an annual informal meeting with the European Union Peace and Security Committee on the 3rd of June, that's tomorrow, to discuss threats to peace and security and the strengthening of the multilateral order. We also expect at least 2 area formula meetings to be held during the month. In terms of Council products, we have 2 adoptions scheduled: the renewal of the DRC sanctions and the UNDOF mandate renewal. Both adoptions are scheduled for the 30th of June. As is always the case, we do not expect that this program of work will remain as it is now, given the many issues requiring the Council's attention. My expert Stephanie Savory will keep you apprised of any updates through emails to the UN Press Corps. Additionally, my mission remains available if you have any questions for the presidency or me in my national capacity. And it's now my turn to hear from you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Rodrigues Birkett, and I acknowledge that our political coordinator, Ms. Nishanta Ben, is also with us today in the briefing. We now move to the question and answer segment, and I invite you to request the floor by raising your hand. Once given the floor, I ask that you introduce yourself and indicate the media you represent, and we take the first question from the UN Correspondents Association.
Thank you very much, Madam Ambassador, on behalf of the United Nations Correspondents Association for doing this briefing. We all hope you'll come to the stakeout and talk to us often. My name is Edith Lederer from the Associated Press. A quick follow-up on your signature meeting. Are you expecting any outcome from that? Any presidential statement, anything? And I don't see anything related to the resolution that's been circulated by the E10 on the Mideast, on the program of work, but we've been told that a vote is expected this week. Can you give us an update, and also on any Ukraine meetings, because I don't see that on the program of work either? Thank you.
Thank you, Zita. With respect to Ukraine, we've already been informed that there will be a request for a meeting on Ukraine. And as you know, when there's one request, there will be a second one. So we expect to have at least 2 meetings on Ukraine. On the E10 resolution, it will not be prudent for me to speak on the negotiations as it is now. But I believe that we have enough information to understand the situation, and we have more than enough information to act on the situation. And so we will be in close contact, of course, with the E10 coordinator on the next stage, if and when action will be taken. On the issue of an outcome document for our signature event, yes, we are working on a presidential statement, and that's going to be negotiated, of course, with our colleagues on the Council.
Thank you, Ambassador. We'll take the second question.
Thank you very much. It's Pamela Falk from U.S. News and World Report. We're looking forward to the month, Ambassador. Thank you for the briefing. My question is about the 29th, the is it the 29th, 24th, the non-proliferation briefing. Will that be on Iran and North Korea and other non-proliferation issues? And if there is a deal struck with U.S. and Iran that involves the IAEA, will there be a separate meeting? Thank you.
Thank you, Kamala. Yes, this is the meeting on the on Iran. On the this one is the JCPOA. Oh, it is. Yes, okay. It's on the JCPOA, and that will be on the 24th in the afternoon.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Here.
Madam Ambassador, first, wish you a successful month. Shida with China Central Television. My question, we know that there's a draft resolution on Gaza is circulating in the Security Council. Can you tell us when will the Council taking action on that draft? And more importantly, when we heard this, many people told me this. They said the previous resolution haven't been fully implemented at all. How can you expect even this draft has been adopted, this can make a difference? Thank you.
Thank you. We do not have a date as yet on when the resolution will be actioned. And yes, there is a concern for all of us on implementation of resolutions that we've passed in the past. But the Security Council has a responsibility to take action. And I think the last time we decided to take action, that resolution was not adopted. And this is why there's this additional move on this occasion by the E10. And I say these last words in my national capacity. So we are looking forward for some action to be taken as we also support the negotiations that are ongoing by the US, Qatar, and Egypt. And we hope to see relief for the people of Gaza as soon as possible.
Over here.
Thank you very much. My name is Abdul Hamid Sayam from the Arabic Daily Al-Quds Al-Arabi. Congratulations, Madam President, for your assumption of the presidency of the Security Council. I have two questions interrelated regarding the question of Palestine. First, there is a conference between, I think, 17th and 20th of June in the UN here, which is it's called the Two-State Solution Conference. So I want, if you can give us your opinion on this conference. Would it be just like any other conference? People will come, give speeches, support the two-state solution and walk out, or something concrete could come out of this conference? And the second, on your national capacity. All peoples around the world who fell under occupation, foreign domination, and colonialism, they fought their colonizer and occupier. And they became heroes in their countries. And we can name 20 heroes who became the presidents of their countries. Only when it comes to the Palestinian, when they fight their occupier, they're accused of terrorism. Is there any more double standard and hypocrisy than this speech of some, especially Western countries? Thank you.
In response to the last question, yes. In response to the question on the conference, let me speak about that in my national capacity. I think that the framework to put in place the two-state solution is there through the various resolutions of the General Assembly. The question is implementation of these resolutions. I think that it is a blot on the international community, on the international system, that this matter has remained unresolved since 1948. We believe that this conference is going to bring attention to the two-state solution, that it is not dead, that we need to move forward with it. Because if Israel and Palestine are to live in peace, we believe the two-state solution is the only solution. There can be no security guarantees if an entire people does not have their homeland. And this cycle of violence will continue. So we really believe that this conference should not be just another conference, and that we're hopeful that it would have the kind of outcome that will move the needle on the two-state solution. Thank you.
You can go ahead.
Thank you very much. My name is Sinan Tunçdemir from Ruda Media Network. Wishing you all the best. The best of luck this month. I have two questions. One is on Syria and one is in Turkey, but both are related to Kurds. Maybe I can start with the first one. A peace negotiation has started between the PKK and Turkey, the Kurdistan Workers' Party. As President of Security Council, what does the Security Council suggest to both parts in the negotiation to achieve profound and sustainable peace after more than 40,000 lives have been lost throughout 41 years of war? That's my first question. Maybe I can ask the second one after.
Well, we have not, at least in the Security Council, decide on what, as a group, on what advice should be given. But in my national capacity, I think once there are negotiations and there are talks ongoing, we must wish the parties well for this. We are in we have 6 more months on the council, and we would like to see some of the conflicts that we met when we came to the council, at least movement on resolution of those conflicts as we leave this council. And we would put all our efforts as an elected member into this. But that is what I would say. We encourage that the negotiations continue towards a peaceful settlement of the issues that are being dealt with.
Thank you. And my second question, Syria is facing a new chapter, and as it begins, Syrians are trying to find the best way to organize governance. The Kurdish autonomous region in the northeast wants to maintain its federal rights. As President of Security Council, does the Security Council believe federalism can be helpful in protecting minorities' rights, or does it see federalism as opposing territorial integrity?
Again, we have not discussed that as the Security Council on what is the best solution in the circumstances, but we believe that this is a new chapter for Syria. And we are hoping that in this new chapter, that this will be a better Syria. And we could only wish the authorities well, and the UN, that they accompany Syria in this process.
Just a quick follow-up. Do you think like federalism, like in your opinion, is like something against territorial integrity?
I would withhold my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you. Over here.
Hi, Gabriel Zonda from Al Jazeera English. Good luck this month and congratulations. 2 questions. Number 1, your signature event falls on the 19th, which coincides with the two-state solution meeting happening here. Is President Ali expected to participate in that? Was that done intentionally to happen during that week? And second question is, you've been very, I'll say, strong on Gaza the last 18 months or so from the very beginning on your country's position related to the conflict there and Israel's continued bombardment and violation of international law. My question is, the Council as a whole has not lived up to its role of maintaining peace and international security. How frustrated are you by that in terms of the legacy that the Council will leave, given that years from now, knowing that all of the resolutions that have passed and so many that have been vetoed, nothing has stopped this conflict. In fact, it's actually escalated with every action by the Council. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your questions. Actually, we had, before we knew the final date for the high-level meeting, we had set our date for the signature event, but we think that it dovetails nicely anyhow, because the high-level segment of the two-state solution meeting will be on the 18th, and that will give the opportunity for those who would like to speak in the open debate a chance to do so the very next day as well. We have been vocal on the issue of Palestine long before we came on the Security Council. Guyana, as you know, is one of the founding members of the Committee on the Exercise of the Inalienable Rights of the Palestinian People. So our advocacy for this is rooted in our belief that occupation is wrong, that colonization is wrong, and that the self-determination of the people of Palestine must be exercised. And this is what we brought to the Security Council. We are frustrated, but we are not the only one frustrated on the Security Council, that this war has gone on so long. And we will continue to exert all the energies we have to contribute, knowing very well we're an elected member of the Council. We will continue to exert our efforts to work towards a solution. In the immediate term, a ceasefire, and our continued advocacy for the two-state solution. We are extremely concerned about the humanitarian situation and the aid blockade in Gaza at this point in time. And we're hoping that we will have some movement on this at scale in the not so distant future. This should have been in place since long before yesterday.
Thank you, Madam Ambassador. Stefano Vaccaro, La Voce New York Ital Press, and congratulations for your presidency. Few days ago, I heard you speaking with other diplomats, ambassadors about the UN Security Council reform. You expressed very clear ideas about the necessity to have a new permanent seat for Africa. Could you express again those ideas and why you believe that any other reform will not work because will not, basically, if you keep the other countries with not only permanent seat but with the veto power, I think your idea is that you cannot have new enters that don't have the same power. That's what I understood.
Thank you, and I'll answer this in my national capacity. I think the Security Council is the only organ of the United Nations that is not representative of the membership of the United Nations, undemocratic as well, and the developing countries are not well represented as it is right now, given the proportion of developing countries that are members of the United Nations. Guyana advocates for the CARICOM model of reform, and that is an expansion in both categories. And we support the Esselwini Consensus and the CERT Declaration, which espouse the African position, and that is permanent membership for Africa in that category, but also non-permanent membership. We do not believe that the veto should remain, but if the veto is not abolished, then permanent members coming on the council should have the same rights as those that are there right now. So that's, in essence, our position on Security Council reform. And given that we've been on the council for these last several months, we are even more motivated to advocate for Security Council reform.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Over here.
Thank you very much. Evelyn Leopold, the Dag Hammarskjöld Fund for Journalists. I am observing that the foreign ministry seems to have a lot of women in high positions. What are there statistics for the entire government, and are men allowed into the foreign ministry?
Yes, men are allowed in the foreign ministry. There's 1 out of 2 from our mission here with us, but we're very proud of the women in our foreign ministry, and of the team here in New York. We're 90% women. But generally, in Guyana, women play a very important role in our development, in our politics, and in the overall situation, I would say, in our country. But I take your point about being worried for men. I think in the past, if there were 3 men here, you know, the question might have been, is women allowed in the foreign ministry? And so
Absolutely.
we're glad that there's a good movement in gender
Absolutely.
equality.
Well, congratulations. What are the statistics for the entire government, men and women?
In the parliament, we have over 33% of women in parliament. In cabinet, it's just about over 25%, but that fluctuates from time to time. But we also had at the regional level and the local level quite a number of women present in government.
Thank you. Over here.
Thank you so much. My name is Afram Kusaifi from Arab News Daily. On Syria's chemical weapons file, are we witnessing the wrapping up of this file? Is it gonna be resolved soon? What's still standing in the way? Do you see it being resolved soon?
Yes, my understanding is the collaboration is going very well. The work is going very well, but we haven't gotten to that stage of deciding on a wrapping up, so to speak. But yes, we understand that it's progressing very well. Yes.
I have one at the
Thank you very much, Mrs. Ambassador, and good luck on your presidency this month. My name is Seda. I'm an intern with Sinan, and I have a follow-up question on his question on Syria. As the USA and the European Union has lifted its sanctions on Syria, how will the Security Council attempt to ensure the protection of minority groups in Syria?
As I mentioned earlier, we have certainly Guyana and several other countries on the council, and I speak here in my national capacity. We have advocated for the UN to accompany Syria in this process, and we have spoken on the need to ensure that all groups are included. I come from a country with 6 different peoples, and we know very well that we need to always ensure that there are policies and programs that ensure minorities are not left behind. And this is the same thing we advocate for Syria as well. So we will continue to do that. And hopefully with the UN accompanying Syria in this process, that good progress will be made there.
Thank you. There is one here and then over here after.
Hello. Thank you, Ambassador. Congratulations on your presidency again for the month of June. This is Ahmed Ali with Sphinx News TV. There has been escalatory rhetoric by public figures like the French president, for example, Emmanuel Macron, about strict sanctions on Israel if they do not halt the war on Gaza. Is this a development and the position that the Council would be supportive of? Thank you.
Thank you very much for your question. The Council has not discussed that, of taking any action on sanctions, not at this time. Thank you.
Thank you again, Madam President. On the 25th, you have a meeting on children in armed conflict. In the previous sessions, both Catherine Russell and Virginia Gamba were absent from that meeting, and the ambassador of Algeria criticized both for being absent on an issue related to their mandate. So on the 25th, are you inviting both to brief the Council on children in armed conflict? Both, Catherine Russell and Virginia Gamba. And in related question also, normally Security Council members visit conflict areas. They've been to many parts in Africa. They've been to Myanmar and to other conflict areas, as you know. Would you take that initiative to invite members of the Security Council to go visit, at least if it's not inside Gaza, at least the border of Gaza, to get some gist of what really happening there? Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much. Both have been invited and both have confirmed. Both SRSG Gamba and Ms. Russell from UNICEF will be there to brief. On the visit to Gaza, this is a very good idea, nationally speaking. The feasibility of it at this point in time will have to be explored. But let me say that on visits of the Council, when we were in the presidency last time, we had a visit to Colombia. And I think up to this day, Security Council members continue to indicate that the visit gave us a deeper and wider perspective on what was happening on the ground. So generally, for visits by the Council, Guyana will continue to advocate that we have. My understanding is you used to have more visits in the past, and COVID came and that reduced the number of visits. But certainly, I think this is something that members will continue to think about as well.
Okay.
Just a quick follow-up. I believe you said that there's an area formula tomorrow between the UN and the EU. Is that open for coverage? Is it going to be webcast?
It's actually an informal meeting, not an area formula. Yes, an informal dialogue. Yes, yes. Thank you.
Any other questions?
There are no more questions. Well, thank you. Thank you very much, everyone, and thank you for the work that you do, too. Thank you.
Thank you.